Om Asmadgurubhyo Namaha. Krishno Rakshatu no Jagatraya Guruhu. Krishnam Namasyamyaham. Krishne Namarasetravo Vinihataha. Krishnaya Tasmai Namaha. Krishnadeva Samuthitam Jagadidam. Krishnasya Dasosmiham. Krishne Tishtati Sarvametadakhilam. He Krishna Samrakshamam. Jai Sri Narayana. Blessings of Sri Chinnaji Swamiji. We're continuing Bhagavad Gita. We are in chapter 7, finished 29 slokas. We are starting the 30th sloka. That's the last sloka of chapter 7. So we'll start with that today. Sloka 30. I'm sharing my screen. Hope you can see.
You can see it.
Please chant. Sadhi bhutadi daivam mam.
Sadhibhutadaivam mam
Sadhi yajnam chaye viduhu.
Sadhiyajnam chaye viduhu
Prayana kale pichamam.
Prayanakale pichamam
Te vidur yukta chetasaha.
Te viduryukchetasaha
Let's chant together. Sadhi
Sadhibhutadaivam mam Sadhiyajnam chaye viduhu Prayanakale pichamam Te viduryukchetasaha.
Lord Krishna finally is talking about now those who wish to get wealth, Aishwaryarthis, or those who would like to get self-realization, Atmarthi or Kaivalyarthi, and those who would wish to get God realization, Moksharthi. They need to approach Paramatma. They need to approach Paramatma. They need to know Him. They need to surrender to Him. They need to approach Him. For these three wishes, I mean, beyond these three, there is nothing. One is, we are seeking materialistic, pleasures, materialistic benefits, in this world. Second is self-realization. That is, we do not want to take birth again. We want to achieve the pure state of Atma, where we do not have the karmic bondage associated with us, and we do not take birth again. That is pure state of Atma, Kaivalyati, or Moksharthi. We would like to attain a state equivalent to Paramatma, where we would like to serve Paramatma forever. That is the ultimate happiness that we would get, right? So Lord Krishna is continuing in this sloka. Ye mam viduhu, those who seek wealth. Even previous sloka is continuing, right? Those who they're seeking wealth is talking about seeking wealth. The one who is seeking wealth must know. In the previous sloka, Lord Krishna was talking about the one who is attaining self-realization. They must know that Brahma, Adhyatmam, and Akhilam Karma, right? Those three one must know in order to get self-realization. And the second category is those who wish to get wealth, right? So, mam viduhu, those others who seek wealth must know me. Okay, how do they need to know? Sadhibhuta adhidaivam cha, as adhibhutam and adhidaivam. These are some technical words that Lord Krishna used. And naturally, Arjuna got a doubt immediately after this slokas. What are you talking about? What is this Adibhutam, Adidaivam, and all that, because Lord Krishna explained later, and we already studied that, we are able to explain it here. But when Lord Krishna is speaking these words, Arjuna didn't understand. So basically, Lord Krishna simply said, those others who seek wealth. I mean, that those others who seek wealth is also understood based on the context. They must know me as Adibhutam and Adidaivam, he said. And te mam viduhu sadhi yajnam. Te mam viduhu. They all must. Te means they, right? So now, third category. They all must know me as sadhi yajnam, as adhi yajnam. Cha api. Okay. Prayan, and then okay. They must know me as prayana kale picha mam te viduhu. So he's saying that prayana kalepi means
Death when die. Death, sir. Death while dying.
Prayanakale api, also at the time of death.
at the time. Yes. Yukta chetasaha, engage their minds, right? Yukta chetasa. Yukta means associate. Chetasaha is mind. So prayana kale pichamam te viduhu yukta chetasaha. So even at the time of death, engaging their minds in me. Okay. So there are three categories. Again, this is a little bit difficult to comprehend, right? There are three categories again. The first category that Lord Krishna explained is those who are seeking self-realization. They must know three things, he said in Shloka 29. That is, Tad Brahma, they must know, right? And then second is Adhyatmam, right? Krishnam Adhyatmam, the whole Adhyatmam, they must know Adhyatmam. So third is Akhilam Karma, the whole karma. So three things they must know, he said. Those who wish to be liberated from this old age and death, that is, those who wish to seek self-realization, they must know these three things. Okay? Brahma, Adhyatma, and Karma, Akhilam Karma. Then in this particular sloka, he said, those who wish to seek wealth, they must know me as Adhibhutam and Adhidaivam. So two more, Adhibhutam and Adhidaivam. And third category is that they all must know me as Adhiyajnam and also engaging their minds in me even at the time of death. So they all must know means what is the category that is missing? God seeker, right? So how many the one who is seeking God must know? Only two.
It's Paramatma, right? That's it.
Yeah, only two. That is Adhiyajnam and must remember Paramatma, must be engaged in their mind in Paramatma alone, even at the time of death. So if we are seeking Paramatma, if we are seeking God, if we are seeking moksha, we must know two things. adhiyajnam, and must engage our mind in with Paramatma at the time of death. Even at the time of death, right? So we never know what is going to happen when the death is going to come. So we need to continuously engage our mind with Paramatma, in Paramatma alone, right? So adhiyajnam and then engaging our mind with Paramatma, we must need to know those two things if we want self-realization. Sorry, if we want moksha, if we want to seek God, Paramatma. Okay? Those who are seeking Paramatma are called Jnanis. So the Jnani need to know two things. Okay? So Lord Krishna said they all must know those two things, means the one who is seeking self-realization also must know these two things. One who is seeking wealth also must know these two things. Exclusively for self, one who is seeking self-realization, he said three. Adhyatma, Brahma, Adhyatma, and Akhilam Karma. And now they must also know Adhiyajnam and engaging their minds in Paramatma alone. So 5 things that one who is seeking self-realization must know. And one who is seeking wealth must know 2 things exclusively, which is Adhibhutam and Adhidaivam. Plus, they also must know the Adhiyajnam and engaging their minds in Paramatma at the time of death, even at the time of death. So, one who is seeking one who is seeking wealth, how many things they must know?
4 things.
4. So, the total 7, right? We must know Paramatma as these 7, or we must engage in Paramatma in these 7. Out of that, 5, if I am seeking self-realization, I must know 5 things. If I am seeking wealth, I must know 4 things. If I am seeking Paramatma, I must know only 2 things. Okay?
So I should know minimum pretty much to know Paramatma. It's the easiest thing, I think. That's what called, right? I need to know a lot more things to get other things, right? Wealth and everything.
Perfectly said, yes. Yes, we'll be much more lost if you are trying to seek wealth compared to seeking Paramatma. So prayana kale yukta chetasaha is engaging mind in God even at the time of death. So that's very important. Okay. So we will see what is each one of them in the next chapter, right? Okay.
But in a
Any
way,
questions?
unless you cross all the other things, right? Even though simply if you know Adi Yagnam and at the time of deathbed also, if you think of Paramatma, right, 2 things, it appears. But unless you come across all those other things, you won't be able to reach that state, I feel, right? Like even though they're appearing like 7, I don't say 7 different things, but they're linked to each other to reach the last step. Unless you come this, I mean, unless you are an extraordinary person, you're born like, after a certain stage, probably. You will start from there, like Adi Yagnam. My understanding.
So
correct.
it is not necessary that we have to reach the path of God realization only through the other 2. It's not necessary that we have to be first seekers of wealth, then seekers of self-realization, and then seeker of God. So that is very important to know. Like, however, who is seeking God, as you rightly said, that person will have the knowledge. the knowledge of the all seven, but they would not be engaging their mind in the other things. Okay, so they would not be seeking wealth, you know. So it's whatever they get, whatever they have, they're satisfied with it. They would not specifically go to Paramatma seeking wealth. Okay, wealth is not their goal. I mean, primary thing is to know that if we want to seek self God realization or moksha or reach the state equivalent to Paramatma, we should not be engaged in other two. We should not be seeking wealth as the goal by itself. We should not be seeking the goal of self-realization. We should not be focused on it. Our focus is only on God realization, Paramatma only.
Well, I think I know what she asked the question. Akilam karma means karma yoga. Is not karma yoga? I mean,
No. So yeah, it is very cryptic and technical in nature. So one must know the karma. That karma is actually the act of reproduction. The one, the act that produces the things. Why we are born here. I mean, how we are born here. That is the activity that that people must know.
Oh, even I was thinking it's karma yoga, like
No.
Okay.
See, that is the beauty of interpretation, right? Like, if we say that, karma, that is the karma yoga, those who are seeking Paramatma don't have to go through karma yoga, becomes inconsistent with what Paramatma said earlier, right? Karma yoga will lead to the state equivalent to Paramatma. It's also a means to achieve Paramatma. So it cannot be a means to achieve only, self-realization. Let's start with chapter 8. Chapter 8 is Akshara Parabrahma Yoga. Okay, please send. Atha Asthamodhyayah
अथ अष्टमोऽध्यायः
Akshara Parabrahma Yoga
अक्षरपरब्रह्मयोगः
Arjuna Uvacha
अर्जुन उवाच
Kim Tad Brahma Kimadhyatmam
किं तद्ब्रह्म किमध्यात्मम्
Kim Karma Purushottama
किं कर्म पुरुषोत्तम
Adhibhutam cha kim proktam
अधिभूतं च किं प्रोक्तम्
Adhidaivam kimuchyate.
अधिदैवं किमुच्यते अर्जुन
Arjuna
उवाच
Uvacha
किं
Kim
तद्ब्रह्म
tad
किमध्यात्मम्
Atmam
किं
Kim
कर्म
Karma
पुरुषोत्तमम्
Purushottama
अधिभूतं
Adhibhutam cha
च
kim
किं प्रोक्तम्
proktam Adhidaivam kimuchyate. It's good that we are continuing, from 7 into 8. We didn't stop at the end of 7 and then leave it in suspense. So as soon as Lord Krishna said, you must know me as these, these seven and all that, in order to achieve your goal of either, seeker of wealth or seeker of Atma or seeker of God. Yeah. So Arjuna got a doubt. So he's asking, Hey Purushottama, O Krishna, Kim Tad Brahma? Who is that Brahma? Kim Adhyatmam? Who is Atma? What is Adhyatmam? Kim Karma? What is karma? Right? Adhibhutam Kim Proktam? What is declared as Adhibhutam? Adhidaivam Kim Uchyate? What is called as Adhidaivam? We asked all five in this. So, what is Brahma? What is Adhyatma? What is karma? And what is said to be Adhibhutam? And what is called as Adhidaivam? Very simple questions. So Arjuna is asking these questions. So it's a conversation. That's why, Bhagavad Gita is a conversation, not just one-way talk, right? Yeah. Lord Krishna said something, and then Arjuna wanted more details. He has a doubt. And Lord Krishna definitely encouraged that, encouraged Arjuna to ask questions on behalf of all of us. If Arjuna didn't ask, we would be just wondering what these five are, right?
I mean,
So
it is amazing that whatever state in Arjuna, we are currently in that state, right? At least me, whatever
yes,
doubt,
yes,
like a normal person, right?
yes. So we'll go to the next sloka, second sloka. Arjuna is asking, Adhi yajna katham kotra
Adhiyajnah katham kotra
Dehesmin madhusudana
Dehesmin madhusudana
Prayanakale chakatham
prayanakale chakatham
Neyosi niyatatmabhihi.
gneyosi niyatatmabhihi.
Let's chant together. Adhiyajna katham
Adhiyajnah
kotra
katham kotra
Dehesmin madhusudana
prayanakale chakatham gneyosi niyatatmabhihi.
So Arjuna asked the remaining two as well. Hey Madhusudana, O Krishna, Atra Asmin Dehe Adhiyajnah Kaha. Dehesmin Adhiyajnah Kaha is there. Right? And Katham. Kaha means who? Katham is how. Simple Sanskrit words. Atra means here. So Atra Asmin Dehe Adhiyajnah Kaha. Here, who is Adhiyajna in this body? Asmin Dehe, in this body. Right? So Adhiyajna, who is it? Okay. Then next he asked, Katham. why is it called, I mean, how? So who is adhyagnya and how means why is it called adhyagnya? Right? Then next he asked, Katham jneha asi? How you can be known? Asi means you, right? Referring to you. So Arjuna is referring to Lord Krishna. How you can be known? Prayana kale niyatatma vihi, by the self-control. Niyatatma vihi is by the self-control or mind discipline. Prayana kale, at the time of death. So how you can be known by the self-controlled at the time of death? Okay, very simple questions again. So total, Arjuna is asking Lord Krishna, hey Krishna, what is the Brahma? What is Adhyatma? What is Karma? What is declared as Adibhutam and what is called Adidhaivam? And here means as per the scriptures, who is Adhyagnya in this body? And how is it called Adhyagnya? And how can you be known by all at the time of their death? Right? 7 things. Okay. So Lord Krishna is answering in the 3rd sloka. Listen. Sri Bhagavanuvacha
Bhagavanuvacha
Aksharam Brahma Paramam
Aksharam Brahma Paramam
Svabhavodhyatmamuchyate
Swabhavo Atmamuchyate
Bhuta Bhavodbhavakaro
Bhuta Bhavo
Visarga Karma Sanyitaha.
Visarga Karma Samhitaha
Question together. Sri Bhagavanuvacha Aksharam Brahma Paramam Svabhavodhyatmamuchyate Bhuta Bhavodbhavakaro Visarga Karma Sanyitaha. Lord Krishna started answering each one of them. We'll go into the details of each one. The first one Arjuna asked is, Kim Tad Brahma? What is that Brahma? Lord Krishna is answering, Aksharam Paramam Brahma. Brahma is Atma. Okay. Aksharam is imperishable. And Paramam is superior. Imperishable and superior is the Atma. Imperishable, we learned about characteristics of or nature of Atma, right? It doesn't have beginning, it doesn't have end. It's always present in the past, it will be present in the future. It doesn't get destroyed, you cannot destroy it, and all that we learned. So it is imperishable, Aksharam. Paramam, superior. It is superior compared to the material nature. Okay. The Jivatmas, okay, the entire set of Jivatmas, they are all imperishable and superior compared to the material nature. Okay, so that is the Brahma. So if I am seeking self-realization, I must know about Atma, right? I must know Atma as the imperishable and superior compared to material nature. If I know Atma is superior compared to material nature, I will not be focused, set my goal on material nature, material comforts. I'll not be focusing on just the body, the comforts for the body as my goal. I'll be focused on myself, right? I'll be selfish. Okay. So we have to be as selfish as possible in that terms. We are too generous. We don't care about ourselves and care only about the bodies, which don't belong to us at all. And we just rented it and we take care more about that compared to what we own. Okay. So Aksharam Paramam Brahma, imperishable and superior is the Atma. Next, Adhyatmam. Adhyatmam is Swabhavaha Adhyatmam Uchyate. Swabhavaha is nature. Nature is Adhyatmam. Nature is called Adhyatmam, is saying. Again, if you don't interpret it properly, it will be, the meaning is lost. You'll get the wrong meaning. So the Adhyatmam is the one that is associated with Atma. Okay. So the nature that is associated with Atma. Nature is the material nature that is associated with Atma, that dwells with Atma, which is the Sukshma Sarira. Right? So Adhyatmam is the Sukshma Sarira. It's not something else. I mean, it's not superior Atma or something like that. Okay. It is the material nature that takes the form of the Sukshma Sarira. So Sukshma Sarira components we learned last week. Right. What are the components of Sukshma Sarira?
The duality is what we get, the vasanas.
Yeah, so the vasanas are carried
Along with the
with the Sukshma Sarira. Yes. So we, Atma takes the Sukshma Sarira along with it from one birth to another. Right? One body to another body. So Sukshma Sarira is the one that is carrying the digital records of karmic bondage. Kind of digital records, unlimited storage.
Right.
We cannot erase it, right? With our wish. So the Sukshma Sarira is the subtle elements of the material nature, right? Okay, there are 11 components to it. The Jnanendriyas and the subtle elements of the Panchabhutas. Okay, plus Manas. So, I mean, overall, it is a Sukshma. Imagine like it's a component that we are carrying from one birth to another, one body to another body. We are not born, but the bodies are born. So we are taking that Sukshma Sarira along with us from one body to another body. And it contains the vasanas, it contains the sins that we are carrying, our karmic bondage that we are carrying, whatever we did in the past is carried along, right, in that Sukshma Sarira. Now, why is that called nature? I mean, why did it become why did Lord Krishna say as Swabhava here? Why not something like, Sukshma Sarira and something that is different.
Because it depends on our vasanas. That's how we behave, right?
So as soon as we are born, we are showing, our that's what Lord Krishna said, right? We are born with the vasanas. We are born with certain nature. Is that belonging to the Atma?
No.
No. Is that belonging to the components that make the body? No. Right? The components that make the body is totally insentient. Like it doesn't have any knowledge. It is the same elements of nature, irrespective of whether it's a Jnani or a Murkha. They're both eating the same from the same nature, right? So the elements, the components of the body, if you just look at the body itself, it is made up of the 5 elements of nature. That does not carry any knowledge. There is nothing like, oh, if this fruit, will give jnana to this person and murkha to the other person. There's nothing like that. Food does not carry any jnana, right? Or the food that we eat, the air that we breathe, it's the same air all of us are breathing, same food that all of us are eating. But one person is so sattvic, another person is tamasic, another person rajasic, right? So it is not the food. I mean, it contains all the gunas, right? But the same food, if the same food is eaten by 3 different people, or the body is made up of the same food that we're all eating from the nature, right? It's the same for anybody. It does not carry this vasanas, right? And is Atma by itself carrying the vasana?
No.
Is Atma? No, right? Atma is pure by itself. Okay, so that's what we are trying to realize the pure nature of Atma. So it is the karmic bondage or the vasanas are not the characteristics of Atma. But Atma is carrying it. Okay, and it became kind of its nature. How do you explain that? So, you take Acharya gives several examples, right? Take water, room temperature, right? So if you measure the temperature of water, room temperature is 65 degrees Fahrenheit, let us say. Okay, but if you put it on a stove and then heat it, the water becomes hot. Now you think that the water itself is hot. The characteristic, the nature of water is always hot, but no, it is acquired from the nature, right? But can you separate it out? Can you separate water and heat?
No.
No, right? So the water it is carrying the heat, right? So it appears that the nature of the water is that hot, 100 degrees Fahrenheit. Now I say water is 100 degrees Fahrenheit. But is the water 100 degrees Fahrenheit? No. Now water by itself is not 100 degrees. If it is 100 degrees, then it must be 100 degrees everywhere. Right? So the something that is carried with it, that heat that is carried with the water, is making it the nature of the water. Right? So it is now 100 degrees Fahrenheit. Same way, the Sukshma Sarira that is carried along with the Atma is making it appear like the Atma's nature is having those vasanas and all that. But in fact, Atma by itself is very pure. Right? It does not have all these the karmic bondage and the vasanas and things like that. Okay. So the swabhavaha, that material nature of Atma is the Adhyatma, which is the Sukshma Sarira. It is not the inherent nature of the Atma, that is Adhyatma. It is the nature that is dwelling with or carried with that Atma is the Adhyatma. Okay, that heat, heated water, right? That heat is carried with that water. But water itself is not, by itself, pure water doesn't have the heat as a characteristic. Right? So that is the Adhyatma. Now we must know about the Adhyatma if you want to get self-realization. Now, next, Lord Krishna is talking about karma, right? Karma. Kim karma? Arjuna asked, right? So, bhuta bhava udbhava karaha visargaha. Bhuta bhava karo visarga karma sannitaha. So, Lord Krishna is saying that emitting act, visargaha, emitting act of reproduction, resulting in the birth of bodies of beings. Bhuta bhava udbhava karaha visargaha. Right? So the emitting act of reproduction that is resulting in these bodies of beings, the birth of these beings, okay, karma sannitaha is called the karma. Okay, so why we must know that? We must know that it is the most terrible thing that we must avoid. Right? Taking birth. One who takes birth has to go through all this, they cannot avoid. Right? So, if I want to be self-realized, I must know that I should not be taking birth again. Right? I must know how I took birth, why I took birth, and how I can avoid taking birth again. What I must do. Then all these concepts of karma yoga, jnana yoga, we'll start practicing, right? If if I don't know about these three, there's no way I can attain self-realization. First of all, I will not be focused on Atma. Second, I don't know why I'm showing this behavior, and everybody else is having their own behavior. Is it because of Atma or is it because of something that I'm carrying with me? How can I get rid of that? How can I reduce the effects of that? How can I carry less and less karmic bondage with me? Okay. If I know that my characteristic is angry, anger is my characteristic. Okay. And somebody asks, why don't you reduce your anger? He'll say, hey, this is me, I won't change, right? We think that if I'm saying that anger is my own characteristic, then I would not be trying to get rid of it. If I know that anger is one that I carried with me, then it will become easy for me to say get rid of it. Right? If if we own let's say $100,000, for example, and that 100,000 belongs to me, it is difficult for me to get rid of it, right? But if I borrow, if I know that it is borrowed from somebody, we will not have a problem giving it away, right? I'm just giving an example. So if I know that this Sukshma Sarira is the one that is carrying, it is not all these characteristics that I'm showing, the characteristics that I acquired from the material nature, Sattva, Rajas, and Tamas, are the characteristics that are acquired, not they are not my innate nature, inborn nature, or original nature of Atma. Then I would be getting rid of them. I would do things to get rid of them. Otherwise, it is difficult. Then I would also try to not get birth again. What I can do to get rid of, get out of the cycle of birth, right? And it is possible. It is possible to get out of this cycle. If someone says that no matter what you do, you'll have to take birth again, then we'll not even try, right? So it is feasible to get rid of the karmic bondage and attain a state that is pure, attain state of Atma that is pure without the effects of this material nature, without carrying the self, the Sukshma Sarira. Okay. So that is Sloka 3. We'll go to Sloka 4. Any questions on that Sloka? That's good. We'll move on to fourth Sloka. Please chant. Adhibhutam ksharo bhavaha
Adhibhutam Ksharo Bhavaha
Purushashchadhidaivatam
Purushashyadhidaivatam
Adhiyajñohamevatra
Adhiyajñohamevatra
Dehe dehabhrutam vara.
Dehe Dehabhrutam Vara
Varam
Let's chant together. Adhibhutam ksharo bhavaha Purushashchadhidaivatam
Daivatam
Adhiyajñohamevatra Dehe dehabhrutam. Lord Krishna is continuing. He Dehabhrutam Vara. He is addressing Arjuna. Dehabhrutam Vara. O best among embodied beings. Vara means best. Best among Dehabhrutam, among all the embodied beings. So he's addressing Arjuna, the best of all, and answering Adhibhutam, Daivam, right? Adhibhutam. Ksharo bhava, Adhibhutam. Perishable nature is a superior material entity. I mean, we know Panchabhutas, right? Panchabhutas is 5 elements of nature, right? Adhibhutam is the superior material entities. Okay. Are they permanent? No. Ksharaha bhavaha, the perishable nature. So perishable nature is the superior material entities. What Krishna is saying. Okay. What is the superior material entity? Adhibhutam. What do they consist of?
Paramatma, right?
I mean, the Panchabhutas is 5 elements of nature, and the objects of those 5 elements of nature,
Like,
right? Objects supported by those 5 elements of nature is the superior material entities, Adhibhuta. That is sound, touch, this sound, touch, taste, what? Smell, yeah, and color, right? Or form, yeah. So these superior material entities, which are the objects of our senses, isn't it? They're all objects of our senses. With eyes, we see the form. With tongue, we taste. With nose, we smell. With ears, we hear. With the skin, we feel the touch, right? So with our jnanendriyas, we are able to experience these. Those are the objects of our senses. And they are supported by the 5 elements of nature, right? So where is the smell coming from? Smell is the characteristic of which element?
Earth, right?
Earth. And taste is the characteristic of which element? Water. Sound?
Akasam. Yeah. Akasam.
Space. Right? And touch?
Air.
Air.
We did all.
Yep.
We did all 5, right? Touch, air.
So these are, so these are the superior material entities. They are not permanent. They're perishable in nature. Okay. We must know that our experiences of these objects are temporary. Ksharaha, they're perishable. Okay. Why it is called superior is, so this is the this particular sloka, Adhibhutam. Who must know about Adhibhutam? Is the one who is seeking wealth, who is seeking possessions, who is seeking materialistic comforts, right? Materialistic possessions, right? What are they focused on? If I am seeking wealth, I must be focused on these objects of senses, right? Right. I want comforts. I want good food. I want a nice smell, and all that, right? So one who is seeking wealth must know that must know about these superior material entities, the objects of our senses, and they must know that these are perishable in nature. They are not permanent. Okay. Then Lord Krishna said, Purushaha Adhi Daivatam. Adhidaivatam is superior to the devatas is Purushaha. Purusha. Purusha means not male. Right? Purusha means indweller. One who is the indweller. Superior to all these devatas is the Purushaha, is the indweller of the devatas. Who is the indweller of all devatas?
Paramatma.
Paramatma. Right? So the one who is seeking wealth, who are they seeking wealth from? Devatas, right?
Yeah.
So the ones who are giving them the wealth, right? We are approaching the devata. When we are approaching devatas, we must know that the one who is actually enabling the devatas to give the wealth to us is the Paramatma, is the indweller of the devatas. Paramatma, who is the indweller of the devatas, is the one who is giving us the wealth that we are seeking. Okay, that is what we must know. Okay, so we must know that if we are seeking wealth, we must know that the material nature is temporary, it is perishable, not permanent, and it is supported by Paramatma. Okay, it is they are not having knowledge of their own. They are supported by Paramatma. Okay, so then second is they are seeking wealth from devatas. They should not be thinking that, oh, okay, this is praying to this devata and the devata is giving to me. We must know that the Paramatma, who is the indweller of these devatas, is the one who is giving us the wealth that we are seeking. So we are approaching Paramatma only through the devatas. Okay? So seekers of wealth are knowing two things, Adhi Bhutam and Adhi Daivam. Superior material nature supported by Paramatma, superior material entities, Adhi Bhutam, that is supported by Paramatma, and Adhidaivam is the indweller of the devatas, or the one who is supporting the devatas. We must know these two. And we are getting the comforts, we are getting the wealth that we are seeking from these two with the support of Paramatma only. Okay? And Lord Krishna is saying, Atra dehe aham eva adhiyajnaha. Adhiyajno hamevatra dehe. Said right? Atra dehe aham eva adhiyajnaha. Atra dehe, in this body, aham eva adhiyajnaha. I am the adhiyajnaha, he said. Okay. So what is adhiyajna? What is yajna? Anyone?
Yajna is sacrificing. Third chapter.
I thought so. Yeah.
The third chapter we studied it as sacrifice.
Ashwamedh yajna also.
Right. So yajna is, English translation is sacrifice. So what is sacrifice? When do we call something as sacrifice?
Giving away
That is
something.
when we, sorry, go ahead.
Sacrificing desires.
Sacrificing means staying away from something, right?
Yeah, I mean, it's called sacrifice when we offer it to Paramatma.
Okay.
Yeah.
Very good. Very good. Yeah. So when we do our duty as service to Paramatma, it is called yajna. As for his service we are doing. Okay. So any activity or duty becomes a yajna when we do it as service to God. Okay. And adhiyajna, I am the one who adhiyajna is said. Atra dehe, in this body, in the bodies, let's say I am serving, let us say, some people, homeless people, or I'm serving some, animals, right? Or I'm serving this environment. I mean, serving any being here, right? When I'm serving as service to God, who is receiving the service? Lord Krishna said, I am the one who is receiving the
Atma
service.
is receiving this.
Okay. I am the adhiyajna. I am the one who is the receiver of the services of your sacrifices, your yajnas. Okay. So when we are serving devatas, okay, again we are serving Paramatma only, because devatas are all part of his body. He is the indweller of all the devatas. When we are serving other other bhutas, any being, we are basically serving. I mean, he's the one who is receiving our services. He's the adhiyajna. Okay, we must know him as adhiyajna.
Sorry to interrupt over here. I thought this the demigods were mentioned even on the 7th chapter, right? And there I thought the interpretation was that, instead of going to devatas, Krishnaji was saying that you should come directly to me. But here I think what it's saying is it's fine that you worship the devatas. Basically, you're worshiping me. So I don't know, I might be getting it wrong, but just think that there's
So there are a couple of things there. One is
everything is interpretation, right? So
yeah. So good question. So if I am approaching devatas, I am not seeking moksha or self-realization. I'm only the best that I can get from devatas is materialistic gains. I will not be able to get self-realization. I will not be able to get God realization. Devatas are incapable of doing that. Okay, right? See, Paramatma is indweller of all of us. Now you come and ask me, okay, give me promotion as CEO tomorrow. Will I be able to? No, right? It's impossible for me. Then even the Paramatma is indweller, right? Doesn't mean that I will be able to give promotion. Same like if in parts of our body also, right? I have hair, for example. I'm there in the hair also, but can I use hair to eat? Impossible, right? I can only use hands for eating. So basically, devatas are parts of Paramatma's body, but they are incapable of giving God realization, giving us moksha. Basically, they are incapable of taking us out of this karmic bondage. Okay, so you can at the best you can approach them for wealth, rains, health, things like that, which are materialistic in nature, isn't it? Okay, so there's no problem in approaching them for those things. However, when you approach devatas seeking wealth, don't think that devatas are giving you by themselves. Don't think that devatas are superior to Paramatma just because you see a devata giving you that, right? Just because your boss is giving you salary, don't think that he is the one who is able to get the whole money and give it to you, right? He's handed over that money from his boss or somebody else, right? So he is not capable of generating money by himself. So when we approach a devata for materialistic, gains, possessions, whatever we are seeking, yes, devatas are capable of giving that to us. But when we are approaching a devata, don't limit ourselves to devatas. We must know that Paramatma is the indweller of the devatas, and Paramatma is the one who is blessing us through the devatas. So we are always connected to Paramatma only. When we are serving somebody, don't limit yourself to serving. Hey, I'm serving a hungry person. I'm serving, some handicapped person, or or old age, or some animals. I mean, don't limit ourselves to thinking that I am serving only the bodies. We must always think that I am serving Paramatma through those bodies. He is the one who is receiving our services, not those people. Those people become irrelevant for us. Okay. So, I mean, irrelevant for us in the sense that we would not be trying to get a praise from them, and they have to recognize me. All those will go away, right? I'm just serving Paramatma through them. It could be any duty that I'm doing, but even it doesn't have to be, going out and doing volunteering service and all that, or sacrifice, some sacrifice. It could be even washing dishes, cooking, every activity that we do, we are doing it as service to Paramatma only. Okay, so then I mean, that is what we need to. I mean, if we say that, oh, we have to serve Paramatma only, then some question may come that, oh, then I have to go to temple and then serve there only. Or where is Paramatma? Nobody knows. Okay, then how can I serve Paramatma? These questions will come, right? Paramatma is indweller of all beings. I am the one who is receiving the services of all your sacrifices. Know me as Adhiyajna. Know me as the one who is receiving, right? So that is what we need to know about Paramatma as Adhiyajna, is the one who is receiving our services, right? We got it? So it is not that we should not go to devatas, but don't go to devatas thinking of getting some self-realization or God realization. Now, if we know that being a jnani is the superior thing, right? As a person of knowledge, if jnani is the most superior in the eyes of Paramatma, then I should try to be a jnani,
Directly there.
right? If I try to be jnani, or if I want to be a jnani, or one who is seeking God, what's the point in going to Devata and asking? So I must go to Paramatma directly. So from that aspect, we have to go to Paramatma directly. But doesn't say that just you forget about devatas completely. Devatas are the ones who are giving us the rains and all that. I mean, third chapter very clearly, Lord Krishna said, you take care of the devatas, and devatas will take care of you. From the aspect of the materialistic activities that we are doing in this world, right? We are not living this body directly, right? Like while we are living in this body, we need to work with the material nature. We need to work with the natural forces. Natural forces are the ones who are sustaining our body. Again, don't think that they are doing it by themselves. They're sustaining our body through, because of the energy given to them by Paramatma, right? But the clouds are giving us the rain. So we pray to rain devata with the thinking that okay, Paramatma gave the rain to us through the rain devata. Right? Sun is giving us energy. So we pray to Sun Devata. With the, when we pray to Sun Devata, we need to know that Paramatma is the one who is giving the energy to Sun, who is in turn giving the energy to us. So always we'll be linked to Paramatma only. Okay, we'll quickly finish sloka. Is it okay?
Yep.
Okay. Sloka. Antakaale cha mameva
Antakale cha mameva
smaran muktva kalebaram
smaran
Smaran
muktva
muktva
kalevaram
kalevaram
yah prayati samadbhavam
yah prayati
prayati
samadbhavam
samadbhavam
yati nastyatra samsayah.
yati
yati
nastyatra
nastyatra
samshayah.
samshayah.
Until that. Antakale
Antakale cha
mameva
mameva
Smaran
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 muktva
muktva kalevaram
kalebaram
yah
yah
prayati
prayati
samadbhavam
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 Yati
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 nastyatra
nastyatra
nasti
samshayah.
samsayah.
Shaya.
It's Kalebaram or Kalevaram, it's fine, both are fine. Okay, so Lord Krishna is saying, Yaha, whoever, Antakale Mameva Smaran, even at the time of death, meditates me alone. Mameva Smaran Antakale, at the end, means at the time of death, Mameva Smaran meditates on me alone, even at that time, right? Kalebaram muktva prayati. Kalebaram is the mortal body. Kalebaram muktva prayati, having liberated from the mortal body, goes forth. Okay, Saha, that one, madbhavam yati, attains my nature. Madbhavam, my nature. Very, he didn't say they will become me, right? And again, some of these things very clearly, Lord Krishna never even slipped once, right? Very clearly saying that you will reach my nature, you will reach my state equivalent to me. Now, these words are very carefully chosen. Saha madbhavam yati, that one attains my nature. Atra samsayah na asti, there is no doubt here. Okay, so whoever, even at the time of death, meditates on me alone, having liberated from the mortal body, goes forth and attains my nature, only there is no doubt in this. So basically Lord Krishna is saying that one who meditates on Paramatma at the time of death will reach him. There is no doubt. The only problem is we don't know when that is, or even if we know when we are living, our body may not cooperate. Could be having a lot of pain. We could be having, we could be not conscious, right? We may not be in a state to meditate on Paramatma at the time of leaving. Those would be fortunate who, with all their consciousness, they're able to meditate on Paramatma and leave the body. very, very blessed. Those, right? So, and if someone is not meditating on Paramatma, thinking that, okay, Lord Krishna said at the time of death, if you just remember him at the time of death, you'll get the moksha. Why do all this puja, meditate and, do karma yoga and all these things now, let's enjoy our whole life. And then we'll see at the time of death, we'll think of it. One of the reasons why a lot of people start, meditating on Paramatma after retirement, unfortunately. But so people may be thinking that, but it is very difficult to focus at that time. If you don't start practicing from day one, like the day we know about these concepts, if we don't start practicing from today, it is very difficult to, even if we have the knowledge, we will not be able to apply this knowledge when time comes, right? We will continue to think, if for 90 years, if I'm thinking only about money, power, influence, and all this, everything, this materialistic nature, always, then suddenly, if you just have to come out of it, it's impossible. If it was possible, then it wouldn't have continued for 90 years, even though we might be facing, some problems in between. We still try to do it, right? We still try to run after the materialistic, things. So, if we, even though the rule is that if we meditate on Paramatma at the time of leaving the body, if we do that, we will be able to get the liberation. But we need to continue to do throughout our life, so that there is a chance, probably, that we would be meditating on Paramatma at the time of leaving the body. So there are two things that we need to know, right? Adhiyajna and Antakale, focusing on the Paramatma. The one who is seeking God need to always do the service to God, and have bhakti, develop the bhakti continuously throughout the life, so that at the time of leaving the body, the same devotion, same connection is there with the God, right? So then the person is going to get the liberation. And it is not because of the person doing that they get the liberation. It is because of Paramatma who gives the liberation. So again, that knowledge is very, very important. Thinking that, oh, I did it, is not going to get the liberation for us. So still the concept of I will be there. That also has to go away. Even I am able to meditate on Paramatma because Paramatma gave me the ability to do meditation. Because of his blessings, I am able to do it. And Paramatma, and I'm doing it because Paramatma said it. It's not that I am doing it by my own knowledge, my own energy. And then Paramatma is the one who gives me who will bless me. Not because of my activities, it is because of Paramatma's blessings, I will get the liberation. So this is what we need to think at the time of leaving the body. Okay. Any questions before we conclude? We are 6 minutes over. Thank you so much. Again, really appreciate everyone. Thank you. We'll conclude with the concluding prayer. Kayena vacha mansendriya va buddhyatmana va prakte svabhava करोमि यद्यत् सकलं परस्मै नारायणाय इति समर्पयामि
समर्पयामि
श्रीमन्नारायणाय इति
नारायणाय
समर्पयामि
समर्पयामि
सर्वं
सर्वं
श्रीकृष्णार्पणमस्तु
श्रीकृष्णार्पणमस्तु
ओम अस्मद्गुरुभ्यो नमः
Namaha.
जय श्रीमन्नारायण
Jai
Jai
Shri.
Srimanarayan.
Thank you so much.
जय श्रीमन्नारायण थैंक यू
Thanks, Ram.
जय श्रीमन्नारायण